it was like Armageddon.
And we haven't yet heard if there's any casualties or any people trapped and working in buildings in the city. We did just see there a short time ago a man running up to someone else and asking him whether they had seen someone who was in the building, and we haven't heard yet whether he has contacted that person. Obviously, once we have more information on any casualties or any people trapped in buildings, we will let you know. But it's very, very chaotic scenes there, as you can see, a very, very busy lunchtime right in the city, Cathedral Square. And as you can see there, the church has had the cathedral there has had a huge hit to it.
Where were you when you felt the shake?
In the barber shop in Cathedral Square.
What happened?
The building fell down on top of us.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, where were you when you felt the shake?
In the press building.
What was it like?
Awful. Horrific.
Everybody okay there?
We don't know. We hope so.
Yeah. And how did it feel?
I don't know, it's just terrifying. I thought you were going to die. It's awful.
I saw parts of the cathedral have come down.
Yeah, a lot of it's come down and half our building's down, and we just want to get out and get home.
Or to the open space at Victoria.
We just want to get out of the CBD.
Did you see the cathedral come down?
No, we were just getting out of our building and felt the aftershock, another one.
Okay, these pictures are being brought to you literally as they're being fed to us. So as you can see, they are unedited. We have reporters out there in the field gathering as many facts as they can, and we will get that information to you as soon as you can. As you can see, it's just chaotic there for everyone involved. Quite scary pictures coming through. We have heard that Christchurch Hospital has been evacuated.
Like being in there?
The most frightening thing of my entire life. Absolutely scared shitless, to be honest with you.
What do you think? And you've heard that it was centred here, you think?
Yeah, Mark, you had some information that said that it was about 6.3, you heard?
Yeah, 6.3, about 5 kilometres away from here. That's what we heard.
Unedited, and we have got reporters there on the scene who will be bringing you the facts as they come to us. We have heard that the earthquake has been felt as far away as Dunedin, Greymouth and Timaru. And as you could see from those pictures, a huge amount of damage to buildings which had already been damaged quite severely. We've got reports of buildings that have come down, and there again we can see right in the city, of main central part of the city, absolute chaos. Traffic has come to a standstill. People are trying to get out as they can. We've heard of people searching for people who were in buildings. We haven't heard of any casualties yet. or of people being trapped in buildings, but we will bring that to you when we can.
Is there? Is there people under there? The spire's gone. I'm sorry. That was pretty terrible, wasn't it? You okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're all right.
Whereabouts were you?
We're not bearing gifts there, it's trashed.
Yeah, I was in
Hit
the
on the head with
PwC building.
something. PwC building.
All right,
Yeah.
what's your name?
Judith England.
Thanks, Judith.
Thank you.
I think it's full of fruits down there.
Clear in case you have to run out and hurry. Okay? Yeah, thanks guys. No, mate, got nothing. And there's no cell phone. You guys all right? What do you need a hand? What do you need?
Okay, we've heard from police that the Christchurch Cathedral has taken a huge hit. Also that the airport has been closed, the terminal has been evacuated, but there are no reports of injuries there at this stage. The Arts Centre right in the middle of the city. We'll just listen to what these people have got to say.
What has she got?
I don't know.
There's guys trapped in there. We're just in Colombo Street near the Cathedral Square, and you can see cars have been absolutely covered. The one under here, hopefully there's no one in here, but all we can hear is the horn. And across the way in this building here, there are people trapped and they're trying to get them out. Yeah, just keep going. You all right?
Right. Yeah, my niece has come to this side, you know.
Hey, what happened?
Actually, I was coming, you know, and was stuck in the door and I hit with the table, you know. The table in the restaurant. Yeah, and 2-3 people just fallen on me. Yeah, so.
Carried out.
If this building comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please? Please? And you too. Thanks.
Faiz.
How do you spell?
F-A-I-Z,
Don't
Faiz.
worry about his name, just get him out of the...
So we've just had another aftershock, about 5 minutes after the big quake, and there is someone trapped up in the glass there. They're just sitting out of the window. Hopefully they're okay. G'day, mate.
Hey, Mish, how are you?
What happened?
Oh, I work in the press, and the building just came down on our roof. Just came down on our head. Yeah, just 2 cuts, I'm fine.
You all right?
Yeah, good as gold.
What's your name?
Glenn Conway from the press.
Yeah, I know you, Glenn.
Yeah, hey.
I know this cop. God, you look a mess.
Well, not surprised. Look at this. Look at this, and I'm sure there's some people under there. We've got some folk up there that we want to try and get out, but of course emergency are all over the place dealing with gas leaks and God knows what else. It's just huge. It is huge. And, the building's a building, so the really important thing are the people, and we just don't know if there are people under this rubble. I fear there are. So, thanks.
Have a look around, do something if you got some time. Oh, you're right.
people out of the central city.
G'day, how are you?
It's just to get people out of the central city is the main thing.
Okay, Whiskey 3 Delta here. We've got
there's people inside, we think, and we can't get to them. So main thing in now is just to get people out of the central city, so no one else gets hurt. That's about it at the moment. We've got staff all over the place trying to help people, but one thing at a time. As long as no one else gets hurt.
Terrible scene.
Oh, it's horrible. Look, I'll carry on.
What's your name? From PIS4 building collapse 218, Feely Ave. People trapped, probably deceased.
Whereabouts?
I think so. I've just got a bash on the face, that's all.
Which building were you in?
I was just walking along Colombo Street, and I was about 6 or 8 paces away from the balcony that fell on top of everybody. So
just down there on the right, is it?
Just down on the right in Colombo Street. Yeah, I was a bit lucky.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Michael Hobbs.
Hobbs. Okay, Michael. Take care.
Yeah.
The one thing about this job is that as soon as the quake struck, we've been out on the street. Also, for us reporters, we've got family as well, and I'm trying to text my family as I'm walking along the streets to see if they're okay. Self-service is pretty dodgy, so just waiting for any news that I can get.
And that was our reporter Hamish Clark there on the scene. Now, Jendi Harper is standing by live outside our newsroom in Christchurch to tell us more. Jendi, tell us what it was like. How does it compare with the big one in September?
Oh, just so different, Sasha, so different. The one in September, it went for a longer time. It was around 30 to 40 seconds, and it was a shake. It was a big shake. It rolled. This was just violent. This was just so violent. I mean, look at this destruction. I'm standing, I mean, we haven't even had to travel. I'm just outside the TV3 offices. This is the building behind me. Sorry, a cameraman's tripping over rubble. There are people trying to get out of the central city. They are just burying themselves deep. I noticed Hamish said just before that he's trying to get hold of his children. I've just heard that mine are okay. That's a huge relief. I've just been over to the Pine Gould Corporation building that has collapsed, and it is just devastating to see mothers, fathers, brothers, girlfriends, wives, husbands turning up looking for their family members in that building. Just absolutely traumatic.
That's right, Jendi. Very difficult to even watch those pictures there of just absolute chaos. Now, I understand the buildings near you have been damaged. Tell us about them, and perhaps your camera person can show us.
Yeah, well, this building here has gone, in actual fact, a huge chunk just fell off about 10 minutes ago. Just further down where the fire engine is behind me, there's quite a number of verandas have come down. And also one of my colleagues, Natasha, was actually in the sushi shop when just up here. That's also part of that building, and opposite that have also all been destroyed. We're just waiting. There's emergency services trying to get through. We're just clearing the rubble so they can get through.
Okay, and what about the office buildings? Tell us about them.
Sorry, we'll just wait for these to pass, Sasha. Yeah, sorry, what was that question?
The office buildings, can you tell us about them?
Well, the Pine Gould building seems to be the one around here that's taken the biggest hit, but that's only because it's the closest to us. It's the one I was able to get to pretty immediately. The cathedral has apparently lost a huge chunk off the cathedral. It's just not good. You can't actually get very far. The silt is up to over the knees in some places. So you do get bogged down very, very quickly. But I mean, it's all timing. We talked about this when the last one hit. Weren't we lucky? Weren't we lucky that it hit at 4:30 in the morning when everyone was in their homes? What if it had hit it during the day? And look, I can't believe it, but that's what's happened, and this is what happens during business hours when something like this occurs.
That's right, Jendi, and we have heard also that the telecom building has had a huge hit as well as the Arts Centre, and of course right in the centre with the cathedral. Jendi, we had heard that can you tell us a bit about the liquefaction that you've seen out your window.
Yeah, it's just coming up. My car is buried in liquefaction. I don't know how many people will get home tonight. Just their cars, the roads, completely in the central city, impassable. The River Avon is when I walked past just before. It's well up. I'm terrified there will be flooding now. But the liquefaction, there's just water spouting out of the ground everywhere here. You'll see these ladies over here. They're just sinking. It's very hard actually to get out of the central city. There's no footpaths. Everything is just ruined. Ground zero.
Okay, and as you were saying, Gender, you have heard from your family, but for many people it's quite scary because the phone lines are down, a lot of them. Obviously we're talking to you, but there are a lot that are down, so it is hard for people to get in contact with people, isn't it?
It is. It's just terrible. You see people just constantly, trying to text, trying to ring. I've been trying to do that myself. My children are out in Rangiora and they haven't had the devastation, which I'm so lucky. But there's just other people desperately trying to get hold of family and friends. And as I see around at that office block, Pine Gold office block, it sorry, Sasha, we're just having another little wobble here. It's just something we're going to have to get used to over the next few hours. We hope that we wouldn't get another big one, but whoa, looks like it's happened.
Thank you very much, Jendi, and stay safe, and we'll talk to you as the day goes on.
Thanks, Sasha.
Jendi, thank you for that. Right, we're going to have a look at some more vision that we have been sent in just as it's just coming in. This is very recent footage that we have here of these are just street scenes that we've had shot in the last few minutes. You can see the road damage there, and there's a lot of people that were in this central city because it was lunchtime, a busy time. As we can see there, we've got our reporters. Hamish Clark is right on the scene. People just obviously terrified of and then Jendi was just saying they've just had another small aftershock, which is, as she said, something they are going to have to get used to. Okay, we are now going to take you to a report about the Christchurch Cathedral, which we had heard has taken a really big hit.
And 2-3 people just fallen on me. Yeah, so.
Carried out.
This building comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please? Please? And you too. Thanks.
So we've just had another aftershock about 5 minutes after the big quake, and there is someone trapped up in the glass there. They're just sitting out of the window.
And that was the cathedral right in the centre of the city. We saw there it took a huge hit, a lot of damage, and we're just going to some new pictures which are being fed to us right now, so they are unedited. Clearly we can see there that somebody has been injured, and we have seen people in previous pictures running along the road with handkerchiefs and blood on their faces, and we'll just listen to Hamish Clark here now.
Fourth floor down to the third, down the stairs, and then managed to find 3 ladies that were on the second or third floor and managed to pull them out round the second, but one guy's like trapped up to his waist and stuff in concrete, and it's just horrendous. Like, I don't even know how I'm here.
Was the building full of people?
No, it was only probably half that flat. It was like around lunchtime and stuff, and quite a few were out, but yeah. I mean, look at the state of it. I mean, Jesus.
Mess.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
What's your name?
Todd.
Last name?
Lynch.
Lynch. You work with UPG?
Yeah, at Marsh. No, at Marsh on the 4th floor.
On the 4th floor. But how big a event is this one?
Way bigger than last time. I think multiple buildings down. We've got multiple traffics all over the city, so it's fairly large.
And what about this one behind us here?
Fairly serious. We don't know how many people are in the building or anything, so we have got to trap people that we're trying to get out now, but we don't know much more until we get in there.
Okay, great. What's your name, sir?
Shane.
Last name?
Cole.
Cole. Thanks, Shane.
No.
Okay, as we saw there, they were fresh pictures coming straight to us. They're unedited, and it's the first time we have seen them as well, many of those. These are some pictures that are coming to us. We have seen some of these, excuse me, but all the pictures we are seeing are very recently, and as you can see, absolute chaos there right in the city centre. Roads are damaged. We've heard that buildings have been damaged. It's a 6.3 earthquake that they have felt there in Christchurch. They've already had more small aftershocks. It was centred within 5 k's of Lyttelton, but felt over a very wide area from Wellington to Hamilton. We've seen many people who have looked like they have had injuries, and we're unaware yet of any casualties or people trapped in buildings. But we will let you know as soon as we hear any information on that.
I've just been arguing an employment case. It puts it all into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, come out here. Come out here. Get out on the street, mate.
No, there's people. It's mental health. I don't know. I just saw the cars. I don't think it's
Definitely.
Okay, again, we're looking at some pictures here that have just come to us in recent times of what has happened in Christchurch. We've had a 6.3 magnitude earthquake. We've heard that the city centre is gridlocked. People are trying to negotiate their way out in cars, which is causing quite a bit of problems with it, especially they've got traffic lights are out. Many people are trying to get out of the city to get home to see their families and make sure everyone is safe. We've heard that the roads are running with water as well, and there's a huge chunk of the cathedral has reportedly collapsed. We're not sure if people were inside at the time. The Pine Gold building in Cambridge Terrace has also collapsed. And the whole city centre there is in gridlock. The Arts Centre has also taken a huge hit, and the Telecom building.
Anyone there?
Okay, and we've had information just recently from the Mayor Bob Parker, who was actually inside the council chambers in the central city when the earthquake hit. He was thrown quite a distance by the earthquake. He told Radio New Zealand that it was as bad as the earthquake that was on September the 4th. And that there were scenes of great confusion on the streets.
What do you need?
He is aware of injuries in his building.
We have someone trapped on the building. If you're heading down this way,
and we've also, he said that there has been unconfirmed reports of serious injury in the city. And there has been information urging people not to drink the water supply.
I've just been arguing an employment case. It puts it all into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, come out here. Come out here. Get out on the street, mate.
No, there's people. It's mental health. I don't know. I just saw the cars burning. I don't think it's
Definitely.
As we can see, there are scenes of absolute devastation in Christchurch. We're going to have a quick look now at what has just happened recently in Cathedral Square.
Yeah, and 2-3 people just fallen on me. Yeah, so.
Carry it out.
This building comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please? Please? And you too. Thanks.
So we've just had another aftershock, about 5 minutes after the big quake, and there is someone trapped up in the glass there. They're just sitting out of the window. Hopefully they're okay.
OK, we are going to try and cross live to the Prime Minister at 2 o'clock, which is very shortly. In the meantime, the National Crisis Centre has been activated for people who need to get in contact with them.
What do you need? You need a fireman. Is there someone under there? Yes. Yes. Okay. The top one, we have someone trapped under the building. If you're heading down this way, can you instruct the fire department?
I've just been arguing an employment case. It puts it all into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, come out here. Come out here. Get out on the street, mate.
No, there's people. It's mental health. I don't know. I just saw the cars burning. I don't think it's
Definitely.
OK, we are going to cross live now to Jendi Harper, who is live at the scene. Jendi.
Hi Sasha, we've just got some few announcements that are coming through. Bob Parker, Mayor, has asked all people working in the central city to leave the area. Now of course that's actually going to be easier said than done. Most of the roads through here are quite impassable. People are just edging slowly through with all the liquefaction, and a big problem is the wastewater. Now we've heard that a lot of the wastewater, the entire sort of wastewater system really in the central city is broken, and all the water is actually running inwards into the central city, so there's a lot of water around now. We've just heard also that down Barbados Street, which is one of the main arterial one-way systems out of Christchurch, that there is a huge hole in the ground. There is a truck actually in that hole. That's how big that is. So the message from Bob Parker is if you can make your way out of the central city area. Inspectors are already going around buildings down Manchester Street, we understand, and many of those have already been red stickered as dangerous. Also St Mary's, which is just down here. It was a church, it was converted into a rest home. That's also got a lot of damage. And if you have children at St Mary's Primary School, which is one of the most central city schools in Christchurch, a primary school there, apparently the children are fine. They're all huddled together in the middle of the playground. So those are just some messages that are coming through. Now I've been speaking to people as they come past. I have with me at the moment Dave Buffton. Dave, tell us where you were at the time.
Well, I was in the Thai restaurant in Castro Street by the Bridge of Remembrance there, and when it struck, and it was, well, really and truly, it was horrendous in the restaurant. I mean, there was a lot of young ladies in there, panicked, staff panicked.
Okay, we're just going to leave that for the moment. We'll go back to Jenny as soon as we can. We're going to go to the Prime Minister.
At this stage, we have sketchy details and suggest significant damage to buildings and infrastructure has taken place. It may be some time until the situation on the ground becomes clearer, but what we do know is that the people of Canterbury are once again going through a traumatic and frightening experience. My thoughts, and I'm sure the thoughts of this House, are with the people of Canterbury. The government stands alongside you now and for however long it takes to repair and rebuild your region. The government will keep New Zealanders informed as information becomes available. I've called an emergency cabinet meeting for 3 o'clock this afternoon. Straight after that, it's my intention to fly to Christchurch, conditions permitting. I want to get down there for a first-hand look, and I'll return quickly to Wellington to work with ministers to ensure that everything that needs to be done is done urgently. The Civil Defence bunker is in the Beehive has been activated, and the Minister of Civil Defence and officials are meeting. Mr Speaker, the details that we have are extremely sketchy. The communication with Christchurch Civil Defence is extremely limited. There has been some communication via satellite, but at this stage details are extremely sketchy. But the worrying fear, of course, is that this earthquake has taken place at a time where Cantabrians were going about their business. It's a very populated time with people at work, children at school. Sadly, I cannot rule out whether there have been fatalities or not. At the time, we're also advising Cantabrians to exit the central city where large buildings are more prevalent. We will be doing whatever we can to assist those that have been evacuated from the hospitals, and obviously, where possible, we're asking people to make contact with their loved ones via text or whatever is available to them to check on their welfare. This afternoon at 3 o'clock, by then we'll have more information, hopefully from officials by portfolio, but of course all of the provisions that rest with an emergency clarification in this area will come into play, and the government will be there to provide whatever assistance is possible. Can I just pass my thoughts to the Canterbury-based members of Parliament, who I'm sure are all very worried about their own families, and give them the assurance we'll do whatever we can to give them information as soon as we have it to hand.
The Honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, the Labour opposition joins with the Prime Minister in the thoughts and best wishes to the people of Christchurch and Canterbury region who've just suffered 2 major earthquakes this morning and appears to be centred about 5 kilometres from Littleton, and as if they haven't already suffered enough. And the steps of recovery, the slow steps of recovery were taking place and people were getting their lives back together again.
Okay, Annette King there, and previously before that we heard from Prime Minister John Key, who was speaking of an emergency cabinet meeting that will be held at 3 p.m. today when they have more information from officials. He spoke about going straight down to Christchurch and then returning back to Wellington to put everything in place to be able to help the Cantabrians. He also passed on his thoughts to them. We're going to cross it back now to Jendi Harper, who is live at the scene.
Thanks, Sasha. Just resuming the conversation with Dave Bufton. Dave was actually in the Cashel Mall, which is one of the busy shopping districts in Christchurch, 2 blocks from where I'm standing. Dave, tell us about, you were in the Thai restaurant.
Well, yeah, we was just waiting for a meal, and then the bloody thing happened. It was just it was tremendous. I mean, I've been in some dangerous places, but nothing like this.
You were here for the last quake?
Yeah, I was in bed last.
This was so much more violent, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it surprised me that it was only 6.3. I suppose that's because it's shallow, but it must have been centred in underneath Cashel Mall because it was just horrendous down there.
What did you see down there, Dave?
Well, we was right opposite where Fletcher's are doing the repairing one of the buildings there, and that everything had collapsed in the front of that. And then you look down further down Cashel Street, and all you saw was just dust. Where Whitcoulls would have been. Now Whitcoulls have been shut for a couple of weeks apparently, since Boxing Day, and. That I heard rumours, I don't know how true it is or not, but they said that there was rubble and they saw limbs in the...
No, it's just so distressing to hear, isn't it? So where are you heading now, Dave?
I live just up in in Kilmore Street, so hopefully I can get through to check up on the house because it wasn't too badly damaged in the first one. Suffered more with the aftershocks, but I think this one could have done a hell of a lot more damage, but we'll soon see when I get home. But
we'll let you get home. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
and all the best. Okay. Over here too, we have some more survivors, and I guess that's what we have to start calling people now. Sasha, when you look around, you have to call them survivors. We have here Anna. How are you, love?
Hannah. Yeah.
You're Hannah. How are you?
I'm not really okay because I don't know what's happening over in Heathcote, where my children are, and I can't get to Heathcote, so it's really scary because I heard the earthquake was centred around Littleton, so Heathcote's on the back of that. And yeah, we can't get there. We tried to go that way. The roads are all blocked. It's crazy. Things are getting so crazy over that side of town because people are trying to get over there, and everything's
very
flooded.
hard just to get around a block, isn't it?
It is. And when you're trying to drive cars, people have been really good though. I mean, you've seen citizens just on the street just directing traffic, and even Briley hopped out and was just sort of trying to make people go the other way because everywhere's blocked and people are just getting really frustrated and congested, and everyone just needs to know that the kids are okay. And I saw another guy who said his child was at Heathcote School as well, and we just don't know, so...
And there's no text communication, there's no communication?
No, we can't get a hold of anybody.
Where were you when it happened, Hannah?
We were in Caledonian Road, and man, it really shook there. We were moving flats, and it's a real mess over there. There's things that have fallen down all over the place. It's just really... It was a really violent shake. It was really nasty.
It was so different. Were you here for September 4?
Yeah, I was, and that was different. This one was really just...
How about you, ma'am? Where were you at the time? Were you together?
Same place, yeah. I lost my house in the first one, so that's why I'm living in that one. But we're not anymore because we're all just shifting, so it's just a bit... everyone's all going through the same sort of drama.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this quake is very centralised in the central city. I mean, you're a few blocks, if you were saying Caledonian Road, is that right?
Just down there, yeah. Very close to central city.
And is your house okay?
No, it's worse than the September one. It really is. There's more damage, way more damage.
Yeah, and you look over here and you see that office building, the Pine Gould building, which we can just see through a wee crack there.
That's incredible. This is more frightening, this damage, than the last. It's actually more scary.
I mean, we all said at the time, didn't we? Timing is everything.
Yeah, and this is bang on where the kids are at school and people are at work, and it's just chaos now. It's actually a lot more distressing, I think, than the first one.
Okay, well, we'll let you try and get through the city, but...
Yeah, we've lost our partners, so they've wandered off. So
yeah, trying to get them so we can go get the kids.
Yeah. And they'll be traumatised too. They've got to go through all this again, the children.
Start all over again, and just moved into a new house. I wonder what that's like at the moment over in Huntsbury, so...
All the best, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so that seems to be a common thread. People just looking for their children, trying to find. Actually, there's just a man just walking down the street at the moment. If I'll just move around, just behind me, he's got his 2 wee fellas with them. But the communication breakdown is really hard because you just cannot get through to your family to let them know you're okay and to check that they're okay.
That's right, very desperate scenes there from what we can see. Jendi, can you just let us know how many aftershocks you've felt since the big one this afternoon?
Oh, it's been hard to say. Probably around 15 to 20, I would say. Some are quite a wavy motion, and I feel quite safe here because I'm in the middle of the street. Yeah, sorry, there's just people running around behind, and yeah, they are still sort of coming, Sasha, but it's yeah, you just got to get through them.
Okay, Jendi, thank you very much, and please take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
We've just got some, oh sorry, if you just stay with us, Sasha, we've just got some more people here. Ladies, how are you getting on? Are you trying to make your way through the central city?
Yeah, yeah,
Just trying to
it's a
get
bit of a
to
mess, yeah.
Whereabouts were you when that struck?
We were in the Travel Cruise and Training building 4 stories up.
Is that central city?
Yes.
Yeah.
How was it?
Scary. We're being thrown around on the floor.
Just as we got out, there was smoke everywhere and debris.
Glass broken everywhere.
Is the building okay?
The building's walls are coming away from each other.
And it's horrible because the building they were in before last year, that they just moved buildings. The building before had crushed and there was fire everywhere.
If we were still in that same building, we would be dead. Thank God they moved the building.
So can you believe this has happened again?
I'm from Pagden and I'm going home. I'm seriously going home.
I might come with you.
No problem.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be getting out of here.
They said it was smaller than the original one, but it's done more damage.
Yeah, smaller but a lot less shallow. Yeah, so that's it. We'll leave you guys to get along in your stockinged feet and yeah. So we've got another person here. Sasha, this is Holly. Hi, whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Ottawa, Canada.
In Canada, how long have you been in Christchurch?
I actually just arrived yesterday and I was on my way to the airport right before the earthquake hit, so short trip.
So you missed your plane, I think.
Oh, I think so.
Well, so where were you at the time?
I was in a backpackers hostel right around the corner on Kilmore Street. And the building beside us toppled and a couple down the street actually toppled as well, so we were very lucky.
Your building is still standing? The backpackers is still standing?
It's still standing. There is quite a bit of damage to it, but it's still standing, yeah. We were very lucky.
Did you see people in the building next to you at all? People had got out?
No, we got out actually right after the building had toppled, so we didn't see the actual collapse.
Now, when you come to Christchurch, Holly, you know, I guess when you arrive, that there's been a few earthquakes and you hope it's never going to happen while you're in a city.
Yeah. We don't get a lot of earthquakes back in Ottawa, so I know there was the risk coming here, but I was just passing through my way to Auckland, so it was just bad timing, I guess. I'm just glad people are okay.
Okay, well, look, all the best. I hope that you do get home safely.
Me too.
Yeah, thank you, Holly. Thank you. Hello, sir. How are you?
Okay, fine now.
You're coping okay?
Yeah, fine. I'm here on business from England, and
another visitor to Christchurch.
Yeah,
welcome to Christchurch.
It's down at the far end on the Yellow Pages building, and I've never been in an earthquake. It just came, and we couldn't get out. It all collapsed, and all the doors were shut. We had to smash the window out, and then somebody drove up a box van. Do you understand a box van? And we just slid down a bit of a roof and jumped onto the box van and got down there.
What building was that again, sir?
Yellow Pages down Colombo Street.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Opposite the South Sea Mall. Yeah, and so we just had to...
So you walked all the way from the South City down Colombo?
Yeah, we've come round there, and because I'm in the Crown Plaza, but I need pills. I'm on 11 pills a day. I've had a heart bypass, so I need to really get to my pills. So you've got to get your medication. Have you tried to get back to the Crown Plaza? No, I'm just doing it now. I've just sort of circumnavigated my way around Christchurch.
What have you seen as you've walked back?
It's just a mess. It's a disaster. I was in Florida in '93 when Hurricane Andrew came. I was on holiday and we drove through there, and it's even worse. It's just devastation. I mean, buildings must be deaths this time, I hate to say.
Tragically, that is the case. Thank you, sir. We'll let you get back to find your medication. Yeah, tragically, as he said, timing, there must be deaths this time, and that is just a horrible thought, Sasha.
Yeah, it's a very scary situation. Thank you for that, Jendi. Now, we have had a confirmation from police that there have been multiple injuries. 2 buses have been damaged by falling debris from buildings, so we'll bring you more on that when we can. Right now, okay, I've just heard obviously in my ear that multiple injuries have been heard of in many different areas. So we will bring that information to you when we can. Now we're just going to have a look at some vision, multiple fatalities that was. Now we are going to have a look at some vision from the moment the quake hit.
This is a live earthquake. You can see the floors trembling and the rocks are falling down in Sumner, just outside Christchurch. This giant rock's just fallen on the RSA building, and you can see it's crushed the building there and the cars. It's terrifying. You're right. Fucking crazy.
Welcome back here with the 3 News special on the Christchurch earthquake and some disturbing scenes there. We are going to cross now to our reporter who has put together a story on the damage to the cathedral.
Comes down, you got no chance. Can you all go back there, please?
This man was injured by a falling table in his restaurant, but even as he recovered, another aftershock hit.
The door and I hit with the table, you know, the table in the restaurant. Yeah, and 2-3 people just fallen on me. Yeah, so.
One of the city's most well-known landmarks, the cathedral, is badly damaged.
Oh, I work in the press, and the building just came down on our roof. Just came down on our head. Yeah, just 2 cuts, I'm fine. You're right? Yeah, good as gold.
Many workers in the city centre are unsure whether their colleagues are safe.
Where were you when you felt the shake?
In the press building.
What was it like?
Awful. Horrific.
Everybody okay there?
We don't know. We think so. We hope so.
The most frightening thing of my entire life. Absolutely scared shitless, to be honest with you.
With phones down, it's hard for Cantabrians to get in touch with their families.
Okay, how far back into the shop are you?
Unlike September, most weren't together when the quake hit, with parents at work and children at school. The airport's closed until further notice and the terminal has been evacuated. Police are trying to clear everyone away from the centre, where many buildings are badly damaged and there's a risk they could collapse. Jane Luscombe, 3 News.
Right, we're going to cross back to Christchurch and have a look at some live pictures that we have now coming out of the scene. We have had confirmed that there are multiple fatalities in Christchurch.
I'm in the central city, which normally at this time of the day would be bustling with lunchtime shoppers. It's dead quiet apart from the sound of alarms, the odd radio going in smashed buildings. It's just awful. There are injured people, there are people crying for help. Everyone's in shock. No one can understand what's happened. The quake was just so serious. People are literally crying for their city.
Stand by. Rolling.
I'm in the centre of Christchurch, outside Ballantyne's. Normally this place would be bustling this time of day with lunchtime.
It's our reporter Jeff Hampton there in Christchurch. We are going to cross to some other live pictures that are coming now in from Christchurch. As you can see, the damage there is extensive. And a lot of these buildings were teetering on the brink of collapse anyway from the first earthquake in September. And now they've just given way under this huge earthquake. 5 kilometres deep, 6.3 on the Richter scale, but far more severe according to eyewitness reports. Just horrendous damage in the CBD. We have had confirmed that there are multiple fatalities, and we'll bring you those details when they come to hand. There are a lot of people injured. Christchurch Hospital's been evacuated. Now this is the cathedral. These are live shots coming out of the CBD. This is the square. And we've had a number of reports, as you can see there, of a lot of water coming into the city, burst water mains. People terrified, as you can see, a lot of people, as we've heard, crying in the streets, hugging one another. It was just a terrible time of day for this earthquake to have hit. Lunchtime, so many people in their businesses, places of work, children at school, just terrible scenes.
Yeah, come out here. Come out here. Get out on the street, mate.
No, there's people. It's mental health. I don't know. I just saw the cars burning. I don't think it's
As we mentioned before, we have had confirmed reports that there are multiple fatalities and that there are people trapped in buildings. There have been several buildings that have collapsed entirely. We will find out exactly where. A lot of damage has been caused by this earthquake. As you can see, the injured are being taken away. Christchurch Hospital has been evacuated. So makeshift centres will presumably be set up around the city to treat the injured. That is Christchurch Cathedral, which has been severely damaged. So the earthquake, 6.3 on the Richter scale, 5 kilometres deep and very severe. We have footage of the exact moment that the earthquake struck.
This is a live earthquake. You can see the floors trembling and the rocks are falling down in Sumner, just outside Christchurch. This giant rock's just fallen on the RSA building, and you can see it's crushed the building there and the cars. It's terrifying. You're right.
Fucking crazy.
So that was the moment that the earthquake struck in Christchurch. It struck at 12:51 this afternoon at a depth of 5 kilometres. Now, it was centred 10 kilometres southeast of Christchurch, and it just looks like a war zone around Christchurch. Just terrible devastation. Although it was smaller on the Richter scale, it was very shallow, and people that were there said it was far more destructive and far more terrifying than that earthquake in September. The Mayor has asked for all people to leave the central city, but it's difficult to get anywhere. And the Prime Minister John Key addressed Parliament in the debating chamber just a short time ago. He said the people of Canterbury were once again going through a frightening and traumatic experience. He's called an emergency cabinet meeting for 3 o'clock this afternoon, and he then plans to head straight to Christchurch. The Civil Defence bunker has been activated as well. John Key says details are extremely sketchy, but the worry is, of course, that this earthquake, this devastating earthquake, struck in the middle of the day. The streets were busy, people at work, children at school, and he could not rule out that there have been fatalities. And of course, we have had confirmed that there have indeed been multiple fatalities. We're unable at this stage to put a number on what that might be or where these people may have been trapped. The airport and the hospital have already been evacuated. Our reporter Kim Chisnell has just put together this story.
It was lunchtime in central Christchurch, and those that weren't outside already were soon out onto the streets in panic. Dazed and afraid, many were in tears. As buildings were reduced to rubble, members of the public helped to get the injured out. In the minutes after the quake, the first question was, is everybody okay?
Seen Jill next door. Is she still in there? I don't know. Were you in at the time? Yeah.
Oh man, it's terrible. Was that the worst one you felt?
There nothing this bad. The 7.2 is nothing compared to this. That was Tea Party stuff.
The extent of the damage is not yet known, but initial pictures show cars buried under the remains of buildings. Police have started checking those buildings to see if anybody is trapped.
Anyone there?
The National Crisis Management Centre has been activated and people are urged to listen to the radio for updated emergency information. Christchurch Hospital was among the buildings that were hurriedly evacuated amid fears the earthquake might be followed by equally damaging aftershocks. Kim Chisnell, 3 News.
And of course everyone around the country is trying to get in contact with people down in Christchurch with loved ones. And the phone lines are severely overloaded. Vodafone has just sent a message through asking for people not to make phone calls unless they're absolutely urgent. This applies for everybody around the country. Unless your call is an emergency or absolute necessity, please don't clog up the phone lines with unnecessary phone calls. The power is out, the water supply is affected. There's been a lot of flooding in Christchurch CBD. A number of buildings have collapsed. And we have had confirmed, just repeating, that there have been multiple fatalities. Of course, during the first earthquake in September, it was a miracle that you're seeing the Christchurch Cathedral there. It was a miracle, so many people said, that no one lost their lives. Well, sadly, in this case, this does not appear to be the case this time around. These pictures you're seeing from shortly after the earthquake, people hurriedly rushing into the streets, terrified, bringing comfort to one another. There were tears, people were screaming apparently. We've heard witness reports of people screaming from amongst the rubble as well. Injured have been taken away, but just the most terrible, terrible scenes. We're going to cross now to our reporter down in Christchurch, Jendi Harper and Jeff Hampton.
Hi Sashi, with me my colleague Jeff Hampton, who's actually been able to walk a few blocks here through the centre of Christchurch, or what's left of it. Jeff, what did you see?
Oh, it's terrible, Jendi. It's really awful. The central city, it just makes me so sad to see it. There are injured people in there. There are people trapped under rubble. Police are trying to get them out. I went along Cashel Mall, which is the premier mall of Christchurch near Ballantyne's, and there were casualties there. There were very badly injured people being attended to by police. Police had taken their cars in there because we've run out of ambulances, but it is like a war zone in there. Whitcoul's building, the whole top of it's collapsed, and there's an air conditioning unit sitting on the top that's about to topple into Cashel Mall. Lots of frontages of the buildings are down. It's a very, very dangerous place, and they've set up a cordon, but that scene is replicated throughout the city. And there's an old building called the Provincial Chambers building that's collapsed near the Christchurch Courthouse, if anyone's familiar with that. There's a lot of rubble there, and I understand there may be people trapped under that. And
so citizens are just diving and trying to pull people. Is that what you've seen?
I've seen a little bit of that, but it's mainly the authorities because the rubble is too heavy for people to move. It's major rubble, it's huge blocks of stone and concrete, and people just can't move it by themselves, so they're telling the authorities when they know people are trapped. And you couldn't do it yourself, but people are actually crying when they look at the central city, and the top of the cathedral's come off, and that's the heart of the city. It's gone.
Because people are just in a daze, aren't they? They're hugging each other, they're openly weeping in the streets. It's unbelievable to see.
They're gathering in open areas, Victoria Square, Hagley Park. In fact, I banged into the city manager when I went down to the central city, Tony Marriott, and he said they managed to get out of their building and they went downtown to try and encourage people to go to Hagley Park, a nice flat area away from any potential building collapses, because these buildings are very unstable. A lot of them are quite old, made of brick, and they could collapse at any moment. And as you know, we've been experiencing aftershocks, and they're not fun.
They did say a 6 would come, didn't they? They did warn us, just we weren't expecting anything like this. So.
It felt more than a 6.
It felt way more than a 6, yeah. I mean, we've got quite good, haven't we, at picking where they are, where they sit on the scale, and that was so violent.
Oh, it was terribly violent. It was like being on a skateboard and just sliding backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I spoke to a gentleman who has a shop just around the corner here, Julian Hobday, who's got an antique shop, which the front of it has completely collapsed, all his stock's destroyed. He said that was way worse than the September earthquake. He said he never wants to live through this one again, you know, anything like that again. It's just terrible.
We did say at the time, gee, weren't we lucky? Weren't we lucky no one was killed? That was the timing. Timing is everything, isn't it?
The timing is really bad this time because it was lunchtime. People were out and about, walking through the streets. The city was just getting up and running again after the Boxing Day sale in February. And there was a bit of a vibe around, and you know there were lots of people out on the street when it struck, and so timing is everything. It was very bad timing today.
Jeff, who've heard from your own family, they're all okay?
I've got a second-hand message that they're okay, but I can't get through to them directly because the cell phone isn't connecting to them. I believe if the system's overloaded, so I'm going to carry on trying to get hold of them.
Good luck with that. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Jeff Hampton from 3 News, who's just been through the central city. We're just going to pop round here now and talk to Heath and Craig. They've also come from the central city. What was your experience, Heath?
Oh, it's absolute carnage, to be perfectly honest. Buildings that have survived, you know, the previous quakes and the big one in September are trashed, you know, they will have to go. And
What buildings have you seen? What landmark Canterbury building, Christchurch?
There'll be no rebuilding that has gone, but I think we need to forget the buildings. And the other thing is there's a lot of injuries out there, people being bandaged on the side of the road.
Seeing some distressing signs.
And I don't think, you know, that's something that Christchurch haven't had before with the other earthquakes and the other aftershocks. Just people haven't had to deal with that, which they now will.
So Craig, how are you coping?
Oh yeah, it's a bit of a shock really, obviously.
Where were you at the time?
Well, Heath and I were both at work at the time, and just in an office on the second floor on the corner of Oxford Terrace and Hereford Street. And that building had been fine previously, but there was a lot of damage this time, and fortunately we managed to get everybody out of the building. One thing I did notice is that it's a good sort of community spirit, I suppose, as we call it. There's lots of people helping everybody else, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I just saw a man up there before directing traffic, a civilian.
Yeah, everyone's sort of doing what they can, you know, to help out. And
I guess what's interesting is you say your building you worked in was okay after the last quake. That seems to have happened. Buildings that you would not expect have crumbled in this one.
Absolutely, yeah. It just seems to, just looking around, it seems to have caused a lot more damage than last time, and also, unfortunately, a lot of obviously injuries and maybe some fatalities. So, yep.
Have you been able to get hold of your own family?
I'm still trying to hear from my kids to make sure they're okay. They're in Sumner at school at the moment, but I haven't had confirmation that they're okay. But so yeah, I'm a bit anxious at the moment to find out.
Yeah, it is an anxious time for a lot of people. Heath, you've been able to get hold of your family? They've been able to get hold of...
I've been able to get to most people. A lot of family down south who don't really know what's going on. You can tell by the text messages, and as usual, you know, when you need to...
Okay, sorry. Just another part of a building just coming down. I think that's going to happen a lot over the next few hours.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting 24 hours, especially with dark and that sort of thing. It's going to change in town, definitely.
Okay, we'll just head for home, those that can.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, Alex, whereabouts were you at the time?
I was in St Albans.
Okay, so that's a suburb just not far from the centre of Christchurch. How is it in St Albans?
It's not the best sort of liquefaction this time, not just Avonside, but St Albans now as well. There's a lot of liquefaction come through, similar to what we've got here. Yeah.
So what brings you into the central city?
To see if work's all go, and it's all shut up and everything's. I've just looked through the windows and everything's come down. All the furnaces and everything.
So you're on a day off today?
No, I was working till lunch, and then
Headed home for lunch.
Yeah, an unforgettable lunch.
So you came back. You leave a city for lunch. you come back and it's looking like this.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's surreal, and yeah, it's like a dream. You're going to wake up any minute now. You know what I mean? It's surreal, and it's so sad. I'm so saddened to hear about the cathedral and everything like that. I mean, that's Christchurch, isn't it? The cathedral. This is such an amazing place, and some of the church on the corner down here gone as well. It's so sad. And these buildings, we've got a half building they've got a building that's tipped over there.
Yeah, no, that is distressing.
Sad.
In fact, the camera can probably just pick up through there that building, the Pine Gold building. It's very tragic there. We've yet to know about loss of life in that building, but it is not looking good, is it?
Not at all. No. Let's hope it doesn't happen again, but I just hope it's going to be quieting down now.
Yeah, well, we're getting quite a few big aftershocks though, aren't we?
Yeah, there was a bit before. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, your nerves are just back on the same level as they were in September.
Absolutely.
Yeah, real beauty.
Okay, Alex, look, all the best.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, Hilary, so that's the scene here. We do have some more people, younger people here to talk to. Hi, gentlemen, how are you? Come on in. You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, eh?
Yeah.
Just a little bit shaken up, really.
Whereabouts were you at the time?
We were at the Natcol campus on Hereford Street.
Okay.
It was, everyone just kind of started just diving under the tables, and I didn't realise why at first, and then just the whole room.
Were you up a few flights or on
No, we're on the ground floor.
Okay.
But,
and what have you seen as you've walked through the central city?
Just there's loads of ruptured sewer lines, and just all the buildings are just all over the place, and just everything's pretty messed up at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. And sir, how about you? How are you coping?
Good. Because when the first earthquake hit, I didn't actually feel it because I was living in Greymouth at the time.
Okay, but you felt this one?
Yeah, I thought it was past straight away, but